Hi, welcome back to the Mental Health and Addiction YouTube channel. I am Justin. I'm going to make a short video today, but I do have a few topics I want to cover. Haven't made a video in a while, so please forgive me. I do also suffer from mental illness, and sometimes I'm just not really able to get done the things I want to get done, just like a lot of you guys may have the same types of problems. But I'll touch on a few things. I'm not going to get real deep into anything. But any worries about the poor and vulnerable population being left behind again, to fend for themselves, we can make sure that we don't leave them out in the cold, wet, dark nights again, as we've continued to do and have been doing for many, many, many years. I am one of those people who've been left out in the dark, cold. It's very hard to get by. Some people are very much worse off than I am, but there's just no reason in a advanced society that we allow for so much poverty, because poverty actually creates, like it or not, it does create problems for the people who do not suffer from poverty itself. They're going to have crime in the community, because poor people may have to do things or feel they have to do things that are illegal to get by, and they don't want to do it. That's just, what they've been left with. Maybe they have a record and can't get hired, or they can't get any good job, or there's 1,000 situations. But much has been exposed where there are serious problems in society, in any society like ours that's accepting of so much poverty around them and allowing for people to suffer their entire lives in this way. It's not acceptable in a society that, in a nation that's supposed to be the richest nation in the world, most successful nation in the world. But that's really only true for the rich. It really is. Justin Amash is wanting to run as a libertarian for president. No. This is what a third-party candidate does, is they ruin a possible election. Who knows if, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. But Trump is jumping for joy with Justin Amash running, because libertarians always take votes away from Democrats. So that's how President Trump can get elected again. Do not vote libertarian. Vote straight Democratic ticket. This is the way we can assure to get him out. I'm sorry that you may feel you have to pick from the lesser of two evils, but that's a lot of what politics is, sadly. It's just, I'm just very devastated to hear that. And it's not because he's libertarian or anything like that. It's because of the way voting works. It takes votes from what their other choice would have been, because people forget they don't have a second choice. You have one choice here, unlike many other countries who have a better voting system. A vote for whoever were to lose in this election. A vote for libertarian will be a vote for whoever wins, basically, no matter who it is. And it will likely, it always favors Republicans. But anyway, I'm just letting you know that. Huffington Post had a funny story about pandemic poops. Basically how it's under Huffington Post Wellness, and it's called How a Pandemic Affects Your Poop and How to Deal with It. It's a funny story. It's about how stress and, stuff like that affects, your bowel movements. And I'm quite sure that having little access to toilet paper also means people are trying to hold it in some more. Maybe they're trying to rinse off in the shower all the time, and they're like, man, I think I can hold it for a little bit. I don't know. Some people are worrying about this, and it's a good question, and it's probably a popular question. People are asking themselves and their doctors, is it allergies or is it coronavirus? or is it something else? Coronavirus is usually presents with a fever, fatigue, sometimes stomach issues, but almost always a fever. Signature is 104 degrees or higher, but personally, if my temperature started to get anywhere near that, I'd go to the doctor. 104 degrees is unacceptable. Wash your hands and do not touch your face. It's very hard. We touch our face hundreds, if not thousands of times a day. We make a little adjustment, get that type of thing. And there's another story from Yahoo Life about, this is another thing, about how a perfect storm of issues during the pandemic has led to mental health crisis. I think I went over this in Latinx communities. Maybe I didn't talk about this, but I'm going to post a link. And this does affect the Latinx communities, and it affects a lot of people who are poor as well, but, I do believe that it does affect, what's going on is affecting minorities much more right now, and science shows that. So, there's an article I'm going to link to with this video. And if you want something inspirational to help lift you up, we've got to find ways to make ourselves feel good right now, if not drugs. Make ourselves feel better, lighter. Go read that funny story about pandemic poops. It's not too funny, but it's just kind of, that's funny. It's about poop. Go talk about it. But someday it'll maybe it's a good topic of conversation other than drugs or something. If, you're an addict and you're wondering, what else can we talk about? Guys, go to the cdc.gov website and be safe. Follow the guidelines. You can do a Google search or YouTube search for how to make masks at home. And I want you guys to practice some tools like mindfulness and breathing exercises. We've talked about this stuff before, breathing exercises. There's different types of exercises. You breathe in and breathe out. I will link some breathing exercises also with this video. But as far as something inspirational, and this is a little bit about me too, listen and really listen, especially to the words of this song, Demi Lovato's new hit, released after her heroin overdose in rehab, ongoing I'm sure. Name of the song is I Love Me. Play the song. And maybe you can even watch a video on YouTube of it, something like that. It's awesome. There's another one called Anyone. Listen to that song. Listen to the words of that song. You will probably cry. These are excellent songs. One of them called I Love Me is a real inspirational song. And if you just need to have that moment where you kind of break down and feel bad for yourself, listen to Anyone. It's called Anyone. Demi Lovato, Anyone. And listen to the lyrics to those two. So it's Demi Lovato, I Love Me is one song, and Anyone is the other song. Listen to the lyrics, please. So, yes, find something such as music or whatever. You may have a hobby or something like that. Something that gives you motivation or strength, inner strength, or just makes you feel better in general or overall, like the right music. I'm actually quite embarrassed to say that I know very little about music, and I really do need to sort of discover music and appreciate music in a new or different way that I haven't before. There are some songs that really hit me sometimes, but I need to know more about what songs I like to know what to play on my device or something if I want to, because usually I just go to Pandora and I'm like, I don't know what to play. But I've been very, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I've always been a little bit uptight, even when I was younger. I'm not so uptight now, at least not as. But after my first boyfriend, which really screwed with me, I've kind of had self-confidence problems and all kinds of problems with self how I view myself and stuff. But I already had a little bit of problems, but that really was like PTSD to the nth degree, exponentially, and all that. But I've always liked, certain types of music in fairly broad genres, like pop or top 40s, but I don't really know which artists or songs I like. It's as if I can't really name songs or artists when I hear them, though I'm not tone deaf and I do know if I like a song when I hear it. But anyway, that's something I need to work on for myself. So if it's not music for you, maybe it's pimple popping videos or something like that. That helps with my anxiety. Honestly, it's a little weird, but it can work. But there's other videos. Don't get stuck watching weird videos too much. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about those kind of videos necessarily. What, if anything, in the world, or about life and the way society is, anything right now, would you change? Would you hope changes? Would you hope changes? And in what ways? Multiple things are okay too. After all this pandemic stuff, what could you see on the other end of this when we come out of it? What would you hope for? I'll tell you what I hope for. I hope for more true compassion in the world, and that we have less poverty, whether that means having real programs in place or something which prevents poverty. Poverty creates criminal activity, so it is an issue for everyone in a real and direct way. Maybe not necessarily every day, but we can no longer, just look the other way when we see people who are struggling as hard as, maxed out. Struggle's maxed out when you're homeless. People like that, it's maxed out. Their struggles out to the max. And you think, oh, well, they're used to it. I'm sorry. What? When people say, no, I'm used to it, that means they've been really beaten down or something like that. They are just pretty much, except they don't have a place in the world. And when people are in positions like that, emotionally and mentally, it can lead to, the drowning effect. It can lead to horrible decisions that people would later say, oh, if only I had known it was so bad. Well, you did know. You can't say you didn't know. You knew. Somebody, maybe you've heard them say that they felt like doing the ultimate. Oh, but people get mad when they hear that. Well, I'm not going to hear that. That's crazy person talk. Yeah, it kind of is. But these people are also mentally ill. They're at the end of their rope. They are struggling, and you just don't know what it's like if you can't relate. Everyone has the ability to reach that point. Everyone. And it's very fortunate if you've not ever been there, because it's everywhere. I want to thank you guys for watching my mental health and addiction YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I do need more subscribers. Comments. I'm always open to comments. I'd like to hear from anyone and everyone. Share this and subscribe, please. When I get more subscribers, I can make a custom URL so it doesn't have all those crazy numbers and digits at the end. I can customize it to where it just says mental health addiction or something along those lines. So please share, and I'll be able to do more with this channel, and I'll be able to communicate with you guys on a more direct way, more about the things that are affecting you when I can hear from you guys too. So, I hope I wasn't covering up the microphone or anything. That would be a waste of time. But anyway, thanks again. Please subscribe, and have a great day and be safe.